what's going on, guys? My name is Jeff Lopilato. I'm a recent graduate from Merrimack College, where I studied graphic design for 4 years, and I'm here to make content for you guys talking all about graphic design, being in college, the ins and outs, everything you need to know. So one thing that's really important as a graphic designer, especially as a student studying graphic design, one thing you should do all the time is be looking at other work. So for me, I am very much into logo design, as I'm sure many of you are as well. Logos are really fun to look at. So today I thought I would switch gears from talking to you directly about a topic. That way, you know, I'm kind of trying out a bunch of different styles of videos to see what you guys like, and also to provide some variety on the channel. So I'm going to be talking about the 6 new Overwatch League logos today. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more personal to me, and I am very passionate about video games and hope to be working within the video game industry someday. So I didn't want to talk about like the big company logos that everybody talks about. I thought it would be kind of fun to shift gears and talk about these, and they're still very interesting logos to look at, whether you like video games or esports. It doesn't really matter. They're just really solid logos to look at anyway. So yeah, guys, that's what we're doing today. Let's jump on the computer. So the first team I'm going to talk about, I'm going off of how they have them listed on the website, by the way, so I'm just going to go in order. And the first one up is the Atlanta Reign. So they have a red-gray color scheme going on, kind of like a dark charcoal gray, and then this deeper kind of dark red. It's not very vibrant or like in your face. It's very subtle, but it's a little darker, and I really like the color scheme. The icon is super dope. This is a great one to start off with. The phoenix, you know, we got the wings kind of coming out of the sides here with that, you know, nice little movement. You can see these little flames kind of coming off of the tops of the wings, and I like how they put this kind of shield in the back, but they haven't just put the phoenix in the shield. You know, the wings kind of come out from the shield, so it gives it a little bit more depth and dimension. The icon itself, like the phoenix itself, is really beautifully done. I like all of the curves in here, and they haven't added too much, you know, divots and details and, you know, little corners, so that it's like really hard to read, but there's just enough detail in here that you get, you know, this nice movement with the wings, like with the flames coming off, and then also coming down into these kind of 3 tail feathers is really nice, and it also kind of drags you down into the type, which is a really good strategy. So the whole lockup is looking really nice, and I also like how they added kind of the crown up on top of there. I'm getting a very medieval vibe from this. It feels kind of like something I would see on the shield of, I don't know, somebody in Game of Thrones, like some new faction came out of nowhere and was just here to do some damage. They've got the phoenix, they're ready to take the throne, the crown on their head, and yeah, so it very like intimidating, and definitely suits an esports team, especially in Overwatch, which is a first-person shooter, so very fitting. Now, moving down into the type, I really like what they did with Atlanta right above Reign. You can see the A's, they've added this angle on, for the first A on the left side, and then for the last A on the right side. And there's also an A directly in the center too. So Atlanta is just kind of a cool, it's just kind of a cool word to look at like this as well. There's a lot of really interesting symmetry going on. And I like how they've kind of pulled like the angles of the A's so that it looks like we're almost being like, it almost looks like Atlanta is being kind of sucked into the Phoenix or something like that. But I really like the angle of the A's that they added to that. Nice little slight customization thing that they did there. And then Rain, this is just a really beautiful typeface, really thick, bold, gets your attention. They have these little serifs, so it's really sharp, definitely matches the Phoenix. And I like how it's not just like, there's all these angles, like with the middle of the E, it's kind of going up at like, well, it's not quite, it's like a 30-degree angle maybe, something like that, and they kind of keep that angle in the G and in the R as well. So I like how it's not just, you know, that 90-degree angle that we're used to seeing in a lot of type, and so it gives it a nice custom feel. Almost reminds me of black letter, which again brings it back to kind of that old medieval feel, mostly because of the thickness and the serifs. Like, it's not really fancy, it's very simple, but it kind of feels almost like what a modern rendition of what like a black letter would be trying to achieve back then, just now in 2018. So yeah, I really like this one. The colors are all awesome. Everything's looking really good. Definitely, if you are an Atlanta fan, you have a really solid logo to be looking at. Oh, also really quick, I'm going to take a look at all of the skins that they provide on the heroes in the game. So they have the Zarya, and she has like a tattoo on her arm. That's really cool, on her right arm there. That's a really nice implementation. And yeah, the colors for all their skins are looking really good. The Lucio shirt, they've added kind of this like white and gray coloration, which is really nice to see. It's really important for a logo to be adaptable for different color scenarios, and especially if they're putting them into a video game, onto characters. Like, you can see on her shoulder, on Zarya's shoulder, the Phoenix is red. On her outfit, it's white, and then the same thing with Lucio, it's white there. So it's nice to see adaptability. That's really important, and it also stays pretty readable at a small size, and that's another thing that's going to be really important for logos. So yeah, this one's super strong. I'm a really big fan of this. Probably one of the best ones in the league, I would say. Alright, so now the next one is for the Shanghai Hunters. Now, I'm really sorry if I butchered the name there. My apologies. I'm going to try my best to not butcher them. So yeah, so sorry about that. But this one is the nice little panda icon. This thing looks pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. This is cool. One thing that I'm noticing on the website is that they have the yellow background and then the icon, and it looks good. I like it, but this little thing, this little strip of like bronze, I would say it's like a bronzish color underneath the black neckline, I think kind of gets a little lost when it's on the yellow like this. But other than that, the yellow is really cool. It's a really bold color. I myself really like using these orangey yellows, especially lately. So I'm a really big fan of this. The color scheme is looking good. Yeah, the panda icon is really strong. I like how they don't have it outlined. Like, a lot of times in traditional sports logos, you'll see kind of this like overarching outline and background color behind a lot of the animals, and also just most of the logos in general. There's another logo in here, I think, that is doing just that, so I'll be able to talk a little bit more about it in a bit. But I like how they've just kept it this simple icon. Not too much detail, but it conveys a lot of emotion on this panda's face. Like, the first thing, the right ear, I guess, left on the screen, right on the panda, has this little nick in it, you know, almost as if he had a wound in like a battle or something like that. And you know, that really fits the nature of it being an Overwatch League team really nicely. But just small little details like that, you can see they didn't like logos aren't filled with all this detail, right? They're basically just flat, solid color collections of shapes. And to add that just little notch in the ear adds just enough character that it makes the logo feel really unique, and it kind of gives this this story to his face, and that's a really good thing to be able to pull off. I really like how the black spots around the eyes, they've angled them so he looks really mean. He almost looks as if he's like huffing in, about to like growl at somebody with the shape of his mouth there. And I don't know, I really like that. It's a really strong panda logo. It's really, really cool. I like how it's just super simple. And then this little strip, like I was talking about this already, under the neck line is kind of, I mean, it looks nice, and I get it brings in that bronze color. I think that without it, it would still look pretty good, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would like it as much if it was just the black and white. It's really hard to tell. So this was them bringing in that bronze color and just adding a little bit more of like a dynamic shape to the bottom of the panda. So I'm okay with it. It doesn't look bad or anything. Yeah, this one's really, really nice. So now the type. The type is really good. I really love what they're doing with the T. It looks like the blade of a sword or a dagger or something, which fits the Hunters theme really well, obviously. And yeah, just those like subtle little notches that they have going on in the type as well, again, adds a little bit of character, a little bit of like kind of this sense of weatheredness. You know, it's seen some battles, right? So perfect fit, and I really like how this T kind of resembles a blade. Very subtle detail to kind of just bring that Hunters theme home. So I am a big fan of that. Let's check out the skins, and on this image you're also going to be able to see it not on the yellow, which I think it looks better on the white, to be honest with you. I think the bronze-ish color on the neckline makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I like it on the white background a lot more than on the yellow background, although the yellow is a really fun color, but I like this a lot more. And the skins look really good. I like how they implemented the bronze color with the yellow. I think it's a nice combination. They complement each other really nice. And, you know, I can tell what the panda is on Tracer's shoulder there and on Genji's chest. And I like the type is my favorite thing about this. I think I just like that little blade. It's very subtle, but like super smart. Really good way to bring that Hunters theme home. So I like that on the leg of Tracer as well. All right, moving right along. Oh boy, the charge. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it because I know I'll pronounce it wrong. And I know there's another Chinese team in here as well, so I'll probably just opt to leave that one, the name out too. It's the charge. So we got the charge here, and this icon is really cool. It's nice to see really strong type icons. Like a lot of times you see, like we've already seen two images of animals. Phoenix is a mythological animal, but still. So it's nice to see when there's a really nice type combination for a logo. And, you know, I guess like charge, like you have the lightning bolt, but there's a lot of lightning bolt icons out there, so I get them trying to do something a little different. And if you notice, they've done something really clever here, where in the negative space between the G and the Z, there's this lightning bolt. So that's really, really clever, and that's why the Z kind of comes into this like weird point. You might have seen that immediately and been like, why did they do that? It's so that they can create this lightning bolt in the negative space. And I think that's clever, and it doesn't hurt the overall composition to, like, sometimes people go for like these negative space things, or like they get this little image in the type, and it, you know, just kind of ruins the type. But I think that this still looks really clean and nice, and they've done it very well. So I'm a big fan of this. The type is nice, but like for charge, it's nice. Good balance between having like some softer curves in the C and the G, as opposed to like the GZ logo is very sharp and they have a lot of heavy edges. So it's a good contrast. I'm not really sure if I'm digging the R with the lightning bolt. I think they got the lightning bolt thing across in the GZ. I don't know if they had to bring it into the type. I don't know if there's ever a time where they use only the type and not the logo. That could be part of their decision to try and bring that customization into the charge type here. But I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that. It just seems there's something just kind of off about it. I don't know. I don't know if it messes up the kerning, which is the space between the letters for like the A and the R. I don't know, something about it, it just doesn't feel like as solid as it could be, if that makes any sense. I think they could have had it without the little lightning bolt at the bottom of the R, and it still would have looked really nice and just had a nice typeface there, and that would have been really, really good. So one critique here, but overall I think that this logo is very strong. Okay, so let's take a look at the skins for this one. Yeah, this looks really nice. The colors on here, I like the color scheme, the light blue with like the deeper navy blue. It looks really good. So you can see they have the charge, just the type only on Hanzo right here on the right side, and on Moira actually. So I guess they do use just the type. So I guess that was their reasoning behind wanting to add this kind of lightning bolt customization to the R. It's okay. Like I said, I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but it's not bad. It could be a lot worse, so I'm okay with this. Not as strong as the first two that we looked at, I don't think. And I think still the Atlanta team is my favorite so far.